Hello, everyone. Welcome to Business Minds Podcast, Episode 3. I'm your host, Michael Newman, here with my guest, Nima Pirion. How are you today, Nima?
How are you?
Great, great. Thank you. I wanted to start off talking about current events in California. As you know, I think like half the state is on fire, including Portland
Horrible.
and Washington. I think it's in Washington too. So I was gonna ask, how do you think that's gonna impact the real estate market in Northern California, Oregon?
Well, I think it was always a bad time to buy in the hills because recently, like not recently, but in California, there's always been wildfires here. It's not the first time this has happened, and everyone's has to evacuate. I don't think it's best to buy over there. Maybe it's good to maybe to rent, but not to live there. Like it's like in your background, look, they got what is that? San Francisco, right? Horrible.
San Francisco Bay Area.
Yeah, it's crazy what's happening. I don't think it's good to live there, to buy, or not even to rent, honestly. I don't think it's a good idea. It's a risk. Your house may catch on fire. No one wants to buy. Like right now, especially. Like look what's happening in the hills. It's dangerous.
So
I wouldn't want to live
you would consider it high risk,
there. Big time, of course.
right? And speaking of San Francisco, a lot of people are like talking about how like the fires are becoming worse. Even though the fires are very common, people are saying they're becoming worse because of climate change. So I don't really I'm not that educated on climate
Yeah,
change.
me too. I don't really know a lot about climate change. But in San Francisco, I don't really know if there's been a lot of fires there recently. I don't really know. I think
I don't know if the fires are in San Francisco, right? I think it's just the smoke is going.
Northern California, maybe nearby, but in the background, it looks like insane.
Yeah. So also, I was gonna ask about the stock market. What's going on with Apple?
Well, I think recently Apple had a really big hit. Like they were down a lot, but I don't think it's something to worry about because Apple being the biggest corporation worth at least 2 trillion. I don't think it's something to really be worried about. I don't think they're going down like as a company. I think they're gonna keep going up with releasing more iPhones every single year. I think this has just happened because maybe a big stockholder recently maybe let go of all their stock, so maybe that caused it to go down. But I don't think it's anything to be worried about.
Right. And actually today, I think earlier we heard that one of the stockholders sold all his stocks. Do you know?
Something like that. Like that is, I wouldn't say it worries, but to be kind of fair, why would someone with that much stock in Apple sell it all? Maybe he knows something that we don't know.
Right. They
You
bring
know
the market.
exactly.
Right. And talking about, like buildings, for example, this is like Dubai, where they have all
Yeah,
these buildings.
beautiful.
I think half of them are empty. Even before COVID, they were always empty. It's kind of like,
Mhm.
in a way, it's kind of like a facade. Like they just
Mhm.
buildings and like they have a city, but I don't think it's really filled to capacity.
Mhm.
Gonna ask, with COVID, do you think office buildings, even around the whole world, in cities like Tokyo, London, Paris, Los Angeles, New York, do you think it's gonna become less common for people to?
Well, I think now with COVID-19, a lot of people have adapted to working at home, and a lot of people like it, and a lot of people don't like it. Maybe some people like going to their offices and office spaces in tall buildings, like in Los Angeles and Dubai, Burj Khalifa behind you. It's nice, but some people like to work at home now because maybe in the next 5 years, people are still going to be scared of COVID-19, and they rather just live their life at home the whole time until people find a vaccine for it.
Yeah. So you're saying there's gonna be like an influx in local.
Staying home, yeah.
There's gonna be influx in the availability of office space.
Yeah, I think it's going to be much easier if someone wants to go in to get an office space.
Much cheaper, much more accessible.
Everything because now I think
The
landlords
demand is so low.
exactly. I think landlords are very desperate to get rid of a lot of their spaces.
Yeah, the supply is very high and the demand is
Yeah.
low. So you're gonna get
And that's same with apartment buildings as well. Because a lot
apartments.
of people also got kicked out of their apartment buildings because
Uh-huh.
of COVID-19, and now a lot of people don't even have money to go back into their apartment buildings. So I think landlords are getting very desperate. Maybe the price of apartment buildings might go down. Maybe now it's going to be cheaper to get an apartment building to live in
I'm
one.
sure. And coming back to Beverly Hills and the area around Beverly Hills. So I'm sure you heard about how the Beverly Hills Police Department confiscated $500,000 in stolen debit cards, and I am sure you've seen how Rodeo Drive,
Yeah,
looks
busy.
different recently.
Yeah,
What?
I think it's amazing that they captured. 500,000.
Yeah, 500,000.
Wow, it's good. I mean, I with a lot of going on over Rio Drive, a lot of people now recently. We passed by,
Yeah,
and it's. I mean, what
it's
can I
like
say?
very busy, but
Yeah,
they're having a lot of problems for some reason with stolen debit.
yeah. I mean,
There's-
I don't know how a lot of people are affording a lot of like 20 bags of, you know, expensive stores with after coronavirus. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I have a feeling it's the government's, coronavirus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unemployment and stuff, welfare. Yeah.
What do you think about people who already are not successful and they're not rich yet, and they're using their coronavirus relief money to buy items like Gucci, Fendi, Prada?
See, I think that's something that the government has to do about that. Like, imagine a lot of, not imagine, a lot of people that's what they do. They get welfare checks and they go splurge it on a Louis Vuitton shirt or something instead of maybe going to get it maybe like a house or something or put like get food. So it depends.
So
You know,
you
I think
think,
that's something the government has to fix.
yeah, but in terms of the individual person, do you think it's smart that they're
Of
buying
course not.
products that decrease in value by day, or do you think it's better they invest their money in?
What invest if they're getting welfare money? They need groceries. They need food. What is like going to Rodeo Drive getting a Louis Vuitton shirt going to do for you?
Right.
You know?
It's kind of ironic because you see the richest people like Mark Zuckerberg and Bill Gates and
Yeah,
wearing the same shirt every day and the same pants. If you saw them and you didn't know who they were, you would think they're just the typical
exactly. But deep
person.
down, they're worth $100 billion.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. The rich don't need to show off because they know what they
That's how the rich stay rich.
yeah. Um so speaking about stocks, so you think Apple it went down got more
Yeah.
expensive or
No, I went down in price because the one of the most the person with the most Apple stocks recently, I think, sold all his stock. So it went down. Not most, but I think he sold the majority of them, and it went down. And people got worried, but I wouldn't be so worried. Apple is a $2 trillion company. They're the biggest company out there. Every year they release, but that's what I think that there should be no worry about it.
right? And what do you think about investing in international real estate? Maybe in places like Dubai, London.
It like for me, like if I was gonna do that, I would have done it because that means every year, maybe every like 6 months, you would have to go over there. For example, like Dubai, just for like a little problem, and they might need you there to like sign something that you can't do back home. So you have to go all the way over there. That's why I think it's a huge risk. Maybe some type of problem is happening and you can't fly there because it's like a 13-hour plane ride and it's too much of a problem.
So you think real estate you should purchase? What's the farthest you? What's the
No, just like in a like if you live in America, I think the whole America is fine because maybe the farthest is what like 7 hours, 8 hours. Like it's not that big of a problem.
right?
You can. There's always flights that are happening to go
Well,
wherever
let's
you.
say someone has they're a doctor. They don't have time to go to all the way to Houston, Texas, or
Well, why would a doctor need real estate like that?
because of a lot of people who are lawyers, doctors, they have a
Well, that's true, but most of the time, people like the lawyers and doctors who have real estate, they have a manager who deals with all the problems that need to go fly over there and sign the stuff. They just get the passive income coming in.
interesting.
Yeah,
Well, I want to thank you for coming to Business Minds Podcast, episode 3. I'm your host, Michael Newman. Thank you to my guest, Nima Pirion, and have a nice weekend.
thank you.